Hello and welcome to A Forsaken Place. This is a visual novel that I wanted to check out because it seems pretty interesting. From what I understand, our main character finds her great ancestor's journal and wants to become the greatest enchantress to ever live. So she attempts to summon a demon prince, and yeah, what could possibly go wrong? Anyway, let's start. I also love that these all have like little birds on them, on the different options. Anyway, let's start a new game.
No! No! No!
Well, that's a great start.
Kill all the demons! Take their horns as our trophies! Use their blood to paint a new era! For we are House Corvus, and our power is unmatched!
What is the meaning of this?
No longer will you demons hold us under your hooves! For you, Prince of Demons, will be defeated!
Ingrid, you fool! You cannot take on a demon army! You're but a mere mortal!
No, I am the greatest enchanter ever to live! You shall face my wrath, demon scum!
Okay, just gotta turn down the music a little bit, because that's kind of hard to hear.
Black magic comes with a price, and House Corvus will pay it!
We shall see about that!
And so the legend goes, my great ancestor Ingrid Corvus eliminated the evil demon prince once and for all, freeing humanity from the influence of demonkind. With her great triumph came remarkable magic, black magic, the ability to breathe life into those who have long passed. But those secrets died with Ingrid the Great. She held too tightly to her knowledge, letting her hubris get the best of her. Black magic has long since been forgotten, until now. I, Titania Corvus, will be the greatest dark enchantress to walk this planet.
Just like Ingrid, I guess. But if it's gonna be anything like the Ingrid we just saw, that's not gonna be good for the entire world. Oh, hi there. Come on, I did exactly what the spell entails. Heart of an animal, human blood, crimson powder, and the incantation. Oh, the incantation. Let me start over. In dust you were born, in ashes? No, it's dust. A demon's born in dust? Okay, let's try again. Titania. You studied this word for 20 years. Can't get nervous now and ruin the incantation. In dust you have entered this world. In dust you have had left. Step forward into the land of the living once more and embrace your new fate. Nothing at all? Latin? Let's try Latin. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try and even pronounce any of this. Stumble backwards as the ground beneath me splits into two. Red splinters of light cascade into the room and speckle the dilapidated walls of the church. Air grows hot, almost suffocatingly so. Feel a weight heavily upon my chest as if the presence of the atmosphere is too much. A dastardly man with dark red skin and piercing yellow eyes pulls himself from the massive crack in the floor, stomps his hooves onto the ground and lets out a roaring growl. It's what I would tell my colleagues in the General Magic Academy if anything had actually happened. Nothing. Not so much as a single droplet of noise has occurred. Oh damn. Oh bloody hell. You can't be serious, can you? Old Rich sold me pig's blood, didn't she? Your 200 gold was too low a price for authentic human blood. She'll ask where she got it from. Guess I have no other choice. Send my hand over the offering basket. Sits atop a small brick pedestal at the altar, a large satanic star on the back wall. Not the most settling place to be right now, but I'm trying to summon a demon after all. Suppose a more wholesome place wouldn't suffice. Use my pocket blade to slice the flesh of my arm and squeeze the blood onto the mixture. This should be enough to perform a revival ritual. I think. I hope. And then she tries it in Latin again, which again I'm not even going to try and read through it. Speak my incantation once more and wait for a sizzle. A blaze. Anything. Anything at all. But nothing happens. Nothing at all. My great ancestors' notes not in depth enough? Did they miss a step? Did I miss a step? What did I do wrong?
Insolent fool. What did you do right?
Your incantation was weak. You used to need a petrified animal heart and your own blood. Why? Why would you use your blood? Competent mortal. You're supposed to use a dead person's blood when summoning a demon, lest they be bounded to you. Turn around to face the origin of the voice and see a tall, muscular man with tattoos running across his body. Glares at me. A grimace on his surprisingly handsome face. Could have someone much scarier. Dark red skin, thin lined pupils with fire dancing in them. Nails long enough to scratch out, well, anything. Instead, I've seen a man with pale skin and equally normal eyes. They're red in color, yes, but they're not cat-like. And his nails, well, not sharp at all. Looks almost like a human. Human that's less than thrilled to be in my presence. Brush it off because at this moment, I'm ecstatic. There's horns, and the one wing. You're the prince of demons. It worked. Got my hands together and try my best not to let her squeal. I'm an adult. I want not to be the head general magic practitioner at the academy, which is certainly all enough to be able to contain my excitement. I've done something no other human has done before. I've used the forgotten art of black magic to summon a man of legends. One winged the prince of demons, Asmodeus. His arms are crossed over his chest as he glares down at me, towering at least a 4.5 above me, with rigid cheekbones and an unhappy forehead wrinkled to match. Are you done, girl? You failed to listen to a word I said. Hearing your poorly translated incantation, seeing your sloppy technique from my comfy spot in the underworld, Asbeg is saying to himself that I was not the one you were calling for. But alas, a Corvius girl would not leave me be, would she? And he has been magically inclined since the birth of our founder, Aurelius Corvius, back in the ancient times. Or so legends go. It wasn't until Ingrid Corvius, my great-great-great-great-aunt, that general magic usage was taken to the next level with the forbidden art of black magic. Rumored to be stolen from the demonic beast who had held humans hostage, pulling strings of society behind the scenes for centuries. How do you know I'm from the Corvius family? Oh, because only one from my lineage could be powerful and cunning enough to pull this off, right? Is that what you think? Your stench is awful as that wretched woman, Ingrid's. How disgusting. Scrunches up his nose and shuts his eyes, thus drawing all the strength from the underworld to dispel the stench. Stench of what, though? Defeat? Agony? Humiliation? If I was in his position, I'd be happy to meet face to face with the woman whose ancestor had defeated me in battle years ago. But as soon as I get my information about Ingrid's missing notes, the prince is free to roam as he sees fit. Never a chance at life. Cost of his knowledge seems a fitting trade. My motivations are based on... which one do we go? Okay, let's go for knowledge. Oh, tell me everything you know about her. It would help my studies greatly. Do you have selective hearing? Oh, yes. I don't wish to listen to any misgivings. You are a demon. Of course you talk down to me and hate the woman who saved humanity. Cast me off abruptly. Rode me off with his left hand. His very human-looking left hand. I rub my eyes to see if I'm missing anything, but the long nails, no claws that I'm looking for aren't there. Let's complete your quest, so I can destroy our bond and go back to the depths of hell. And that would be better than listening to this nonsense you're spewing. So, what have you? Why bring me to this forsaken place? Man or demon looks incredibly upset with me, tapping his foot, know who's inside the like legend would suggest, on the ground as he watches me with distaste. I don't have a quest, or a quest sure, but no grand adventure. Let's hear it then. Why summon me to this regrettable world once more? It'd better be good to have you bonded to a rotten human girl like yourself.
Ouch. Okay. That one stung a little.
Not all bad. In fact, I'm going to just let you go once you answer my questions about Ingrid. They're missing notes. Think of it as my payment to you. Takes a menacing step forward. Places a forceful hand on my shoulder. Now squeezes down hard enough to let out a short cry.
Are you saying you're letting me, the Demon Prince, go? How kind of you.
Well, yes. I wanted to see if I had learned enough to actually revive a demon. Ingrid's notes only talked about how to bring you back up specifically. So I figured I may as well take the opportunity to learn more about her notes and black magic. Then you can go. It's not that big of a deal, right? Not that bad of a deal. It is a horrendous offering. Wouldn't you much rather use me for your bidding? Take down a rival, steal enough money to make you the wealthiest in the land? You are a demon, not a genie. The only desire I have is to learn more powerful magic. Right now, I'm stuck teaching rudimentary fire and ice spells to teenagers. Ingrid studied so much, yet her power died with her. At that, I see the corner of his lips upturn into a smile, so small I almost didn't recognize it at first, but after blinking, it's definitely still there. Good. Black magic should never be used by a human. You'll simply abuse it, then use us demons as your despicable scapegoats. I have never met a demon who has done worse deeds than your false idol, Ingrid. Corvius family are a loathsome bunch. I have no desire to hand back to you the power that destroyed my people. Wait, what do you mean by that? Hand back the power that destroyed his people? I open my mouth to ask more, but Asmodeus has walked away from me. With his back turned, I can see the long gash seared into his porcelain skin, where his other wing would have once been. Captivated for a moment, not only by Asmodeus, but by myself as well. When all that I was able to revive the Demon Prince. Had Ingrid's notes not been so detailed, I wouldn't have been able to find this place, let alone gather the correct ingredients or memorize the proper incantation. Yet with so much care put into the other entries, I find it hard to believe that there is no more information in existence. Perhaps not in the family vaults, but am I to believe that Ingrid was not able to do more with her black magic? Is this the peak of her studies? Find a suitable quest, and I will assist you in accomplishing it, mortal. And turn around to look at me as he says this. Instead, he is walking around the temple, analyzing the stained glass images. There's some of him up there, no doubt. I'm sure who had built this temple. Well, I'm not sure who had built this temple, though whoever did had a great respect for demonkind, not to worship them, even. My only desire is to learn black magic, and more about my ancestor. said this, and I'm unwavering on it.
Then it seems we're at a crossroads.
He turns to look at me, but doesn't move to get any closer. I suppose the only option is to wait until you die so that I may be released from the bond you so foolishly created. But even then, I am to be stuck here in this wretched world. I wish to be brought back to the underworld. Jocelyn's voice and lets his last word hang in the air before shaking his head. His hair hits his cheeks. I can see a peak of tattoos across his forehead. You made a deal with the devil, as you humans would say, to give part of your soul for my passage here. So blindly following some human's journal gets you. You won't be rid of me until I complete your quest, and I have no moral obligation to you any longer. That doesn't sound too appealing, and I'm left wondering what it could mean that I offered part of my soul to get him here. What does a bond entail? We demons are respectful of all life, even life that has harmed us. Funny enough, yes, you paint us as soul-sucking monsters, and yet we offer you kindness even when we are brought up to the surface to do your bidding. As a token of our respect, once our job is complete, we are taken back down to the underworld, and the part of your soul that has been held down there is relinquished back to you. A simple transaction. Payment, as you said before. So it is imperative that we complete a quest. Otherwise, I cannot return to my home or stray too far from you. A deal for some, yet I will refuse to cooperate with you if you keep me in limbo. I mean, it's not like you're cooperating now, right? Just help me and you can go back home. I will do no such thing. Find an alternate quest. Do not wish to be freed from your bond, only to live a mundane mortal life like yourself. Seems like he's saying that the spell I used to bring him here bonded us together. He has to complete my quest and fulfill his obligation to me in order to sever this bond and return home. Otherwise he'll be stuck here until I die. When that happens, he'll become immortal and not be able to return home. Why is that? You can't return home if you don't fulfill my request. Honor, yet I disagree with my demon kin on that one. Walk a thin line with my maker, and so I shan't risk any more. If you find no other quest, I will assign you one. Force the dagger of banishment, and you can use it to sentence me back to the underworld forever. Why would I do that? Wouldn't learn anything from that. You'll learn nothing either way. You brought me to this world without my consent, and you demand knowledge from me that I have expressed disdain for. You humans are foul, wicked creatures. And I will not bestow any knowledge onto you. I will die on this hill, even as a mortal. And die in this cathedral, you selfish jerk. I won't hear any more of your nonsense, without so much of a shred of proof that we bonded. But demon, it's common knowledge not to trust one. Angrily, I take a step backwards. How dare you demand things from me without so much as a simple please or thank you? Not any manners at all, in fact. Suit yourself. Go run off to your little human life. I shall remain here. Asmodeus shoos me off and heads back into his early task of examining the cathedral's architecture. His own frustrations at my demands are written painfully across his face, as his body remains rigid. There's no use agitating him anymore. Turn around and make my way towards the door of the cathedral. Don't wish to linger here anymore with this hot-headed demon. I'll return home for the time being and think on what to do. I step outside, the cool wind caresses my face. I shut my eyes and let my thoughts wander. Brought the Prince of Demons to our world from the underworld. Really can't believe it. Who knew magic could be capable of something so wonderful? Ingrid Corvius did, and my family has chosen to hide her journal from not only me, but the world. Why? There's so many amazing things aside from the simple elemental spells that mages will be able to master. Imagine a world where I won't have to be hauled inside my office grading alchemy assignments. Huge opportunity is sitting in that cathedral. Demon who can not only change my life, but the life of humanity. Must be a way to convince him to teach me the knowledge I seek. Not give me knowledge on magic, at least tell me more about Ingrid, so I can follow in her footsteps. Though I suppose it was foolish to think a demon would help a human like myself. Walk down the path I had taken to get here. A hidden cathedral in the middle of the forest. Whereabouts written so descriptively in my ancestor's journal. I'd have to be very distracted to miss it. Rummaging in my knapsack for it, I find a journal with ease. Its leather binding is falling apart, but the pages are still intact. Well, most of them. Flipping to the last page, I reread it over to find out if I missed anything in the spell, or if there's any indication of a bond forming with the one you revive. Top of the page has Amodius scrawled across and underlined. Below there is the word revival, followed by the incantation. Then it lists the ingredients I searched for. Animal heart, human's blood, and crimson powder. Turning it over, there is nothing more. I can't be sure what Ingrid's intention were with the revival spell any more than I could be sure of Asmodeus's words. I have to trust one or the other. I would have to say trust Asmodeus, because Ingrid wasn't really specific in anything else about the revival spell and stuff. Asmodeus actually gave us a lot more info about it, so this is very much against the idea of being here. If he meant to deceive, would he not just sweet talk me into doing his bidding? Instead, he's irritable and angry with me. Seems there is some information he holds close to himself that he refuses to share. Besides, I can't help but wonder why Ingrid's journal was kept a secret from me. Perhaps it has been rotting away in the family vault for a good reason. Close the book and gingerly tie it back up, so as to not lose any pages in case the shoddy binding comes undone in my bag. Then I begin my journey home. Ow. Or try to. I walk forward, my body collides into an invisible barrier. I cannot seem to pass. A barrier spell? Is this the work of the demon? Yes, it must be. There was nothing preventing me from travelling before. Asmodeus must be desperate for my help. Go back and give him a piece of my mind. Walk back is short, given the fact that I wasn't able to get very far thanks to the barrier. When I enter the cathedral again, I see Asmodeus standing on top of the altar, flipping through a book with a look of utter disgust on his face. Watch as he flips a page and then slams it shut with a grunt. You're back fast, human. Finally looks up at me. Look of disgust replaced with amusement. You were not able to get far, I presume?
I have a name. It's Titania. Use it.
Second of all, that's no thanks to you. Why cast me out if you were only going to use a barrier spell to keep me trapped? Asmodeus takes a step forward and leans against the table that sits atop the altar. There's no doing on my own. I wouldn't keep you here against your will, as you humans seem so intent on doing to demon kind. It's actually your fault. As I said earlier, we are bonded and, as such, cannot be apart. I only wish for you to see it yourself. You mean to tell me if I want to go anywhere, you'll need to come with me? Yes. And the only way to make it stop is to complete a quest or get this dagger you mentioned earlier? Okay, I'm listening. Ha, now you choose to listen when it benefits you. Charming. No, that's not the only case. There's another reason I would consider searching for the dagger that will send him home. Yeah, I don't want him here against his will. Though explaining that to him wouldn't do much to make the situation better, so I stay quiet as he continues on. The dagger of banishment is exactly as it sounds. You use it to banish me to the underworld. But it's a powerful weapon. You cannot simply stumble upon it. It's hidden somewhere deep in the arcane forest. Asmodeus goes off on a long-winded tangent. Not about the dagger at all, but about the very non-magical flora in the arcane forest. I feel myself losing interest quickly. Try to stealth a yawn behind my hand, but he catches sight of it. In turn, that makes me yawn. Am I boring you, mortal? As a matter of fact, yes. Got a map. I lost you out to Arcane Forest. The power of House Corvius is unmatched, isn't it? Mocking me as he rolls his eyes. Figure it out. You get this done a lot quicker if you just pointed me in the right direction. No, you're a powerful black mage, yes? So, Corvius, let's see it. Asmodeus takes a seat on one of the steps, leaning up to the altar, crosses his arms over his chest. What he fails to realize is that my knowledge of black magic stems from Ingrid's journal. Unless the information isn't there, I don't know of it. All what Asmodeus has said about the whereabouts of the dagger has been lost on me. His attitude doesn't make it easy to confess that to him. Come on, just a hint? No. Shakes his head firmly and shuts his eyes. Leans back into his spot so that he's lounging comfortably. I have a whole lifetime. Well, your lifetime. It's waiting for me to grovel at his feet, but I'm not going to beg for him for the answer. I'm smart. I can figure it out. Brought him here, didn't I? Well, it kinda just seems that he only showed up because he felt bad for us, but... Besides, if you can't even find the first place, how will you solve the puzzles to get to the pieces of the dagger? Wait a second, did you say pieces? If you listened to a word I said, you'd have known that, foolish girl. I can't help but groan. I simply wanted him to tell me some information and be on his merry way. Now there's a dagger to assemble and apparently puzzles too. This wasn't part of the plan. Next you're going to tell me that I have to wrestle a demon or something. In a competition of pure strength, a demon would win, so you should hope not. Asmodeus then begins to chuckle to himself as he checks his nails, pulls them up to his lip and blows off the dust ever so casually, enjoying the time being wasted. My time being wasted.
Lady Corvus?
You must have solved it by now. What do Ingrid's notes say? They say that you're an asshole. Ha, wouldn't doubt it. Goes back to his lounging session. Need me to figure this out on my own. Maybe something around here can help. What shall I look at? Let's try the book on the altar. You seemed quite interested in that earlier. I got back to the cathedral. Asmodeus was reading something. Wonder what it was. Some sort of satanic Bible? This doesn't seem like a regular church. Wonder how long it's been abandoned. Tried to step past Asmodeus, but he's lazily blocking my way to the top of the altar. Can he move? For what? You want to read the book up there? Yeah, duh. What else, smart guy? Seemed pretty disgusted by it, so I wanted to see what's going on. Just some human nonsense. Book of lies. Moves over, but only slightly. Read if you'd like, but I promise you it's all garbage. Should I read it? Sure. Great, thanks for the info. Push past him, I cast brushing against his thigh as I trudged to the steps. Hey, watch it. I felt a hand clamping down on my leg forcefully.
Hey!
Hey, jerk, you're the one who didn't move. Keep my foot forward. He loosens his grip with a annoyed grunt. Asmodeus moves over to let me walk by without any more confrontations. I approach the podium. I see the leather-bound book has been shut, so I can't pick out where Asmodeus left off. Cover is similar to Ingrid's journal. Nothing fancy about it. Not even a title on the front, and when I open it, I see a scratchy handwriting. This was mass-produced on a printing press. It must only be one copy. I go to a random page and see a lot of doers followed by what looks to be sermons. I begin to read one aloud. We are gathered here today to celebrate the impending return of demonkind. Just as we have once lived together in harmony with our demon brethren, we shall do so again. We offer our thanks and praises to the 7 princes of demonkind for their most ultimate sacrifice. No more. Stop reading that filth. I see him getting visibly upset as he twists his body to face me. His brows are furrowed and he has a glare trained on me. Should I keep reading? We'll do as he wishes. No point annoying me anymore, but yeah, it just seems like a Bible or something of the sort. Nothing that will give us any more information, I think. Perhaps it's best not to continue any longer. I don't feel as if this will tell me where the pieces of the dagger are. Close the book with a thud and make my way back down to where Asmodeus is. Okay, well let's check out the stained glass then. The stained glass seemed to capture Asmodeus' attention right away. Maybe look at them jogged his memory or something. I believe some of the art depicts him. Approach the windows and take a long look at them. Seem to depict different demons of note. Lucifer, Mammon, Leviathan, Beelzebub, Belphegor, Satan, and of course Asmodeus. The stained glass depicting him is shocking. He has the same pale skin almost that he does now, but with no tattoos in sight, 2 very large and impressive wings. Asmodeus is lying on a bedroll with a sheet barely covering his lower half. There's a sultry smile with several half-naked men and women doting on him. Looking back at him sitting at the altar steps, only one thing seems to be the same. He casually lounges about. Though I don't see the seductive charm that the stained glass art is trying to portray. Hear Asmodeus chuckle from his spot. I see you found my image quite scandalous, yes? No kidding. I believe you must call it the 7 deadly sins. I wasn't given much of a choice in mortal stories, even by people who clearly worship me. While some of those depictions are true, mine certainly is not. I was never a prizer about seducing humans. He very clearly hates us humans, but it seems from not only the stained glass image, but the others as well, that humans and demons lived together at one point in time. Though if he says his image is less than truthful, then that may also be legend. There's nothing else to be learned from this, so I step away. Asmodeus stands up suddenly and walks over to the entrance of the cathedral. He taps his foot twice before turning to yell to me over his shoulder. Let's venture forth. You must have figured out where to go by now, yes? With a groan, I begrudgingly drag my feet towards a man who is already almost halfway out the doorway. Okay, enough of your games. You know very well that I can't figure out where to go on my own. Speak to me plainly, or we won't go anywhere.
My liege.
Very well, my liege. bows in front of me before walking out of the room, expecting me to follow suit. Sunlight seeps into my skin, and I shut my eyes tightly. Told you to speak plainly, not just lead me away where you need to go. I want to understand. Really? You could have fooled me. You didn't listen to a word I said. I tried to, but I didn't understand most of it. Grinned sheepishly at him, but he whisked me away. Some kind of mage you are. Don't even know about the arcane forest. I will dumb it down for you. Not too far from here is a mystical forest, hidden away by the power of, you guessed it, magic. Starts walking, throwing his arms in the air with a grand motion. And in this magic forest is a series of mystical traps and puzzles, protecting the pieces of the dagger of banishment. Makes sense, I guess. So I assume you know how to get these pieces? It'll be too easy. Chuckles as he walks forward again. I've never been inside the arcane forest. Never had a reason to. But you're Corvius, so you can solve it, my lady.
You can solve it, my lady.
I mimic his speech to myself and follow a few feet behind him. Though I can't completely escape the demon for the time being, I can certainly keep my distance. After what feels like an eternity of walking, Asmodeus stops in place and leans against a nearby tree, shuts his eyes tightly and takes in a large breath. Are you okay? Tell me, what have you noticed about our journey thus far? Take a look around us. Do as he says and look around the area. I see trees upon trees, with green foliage and a paved path in dirt. But aside from the sunlight darkening, I notice no change. Everything kinda looks the same. Almost as if we'd gone forward and not done much of anything, yes? Kind of, yeah. You imbecile. I've taken you down the same path multiple times, simply waiting for you to catch on. At least she was able to catch on to my tricks. You simply follow along. She? You mean Ingrid? Don't wish to talk to someone who can't even pick apart something as simple as going around the circles. Are you even paying attention to your surroundings? I frown at this. Looks like he caught me. I've been paying attention.
Asmodeus.
Asmodeus. Begin my tirade, but he casts me off angrily. Don't you dare call me that. I didn't raise an entire demon army to be disrespected by a foul-mouthed human girl who has the goal to call herself a black mage because she found a recipe in an old journal. Call me Corvius, my lady, my liege. Take me in circles instead of our destination. Place a hand on my chin and then leaned forward towards him. I think Asmodeus is quite fitting. As for short. Growls, stepping forward, sharp white teeth bared. I don't flinch though. I'm not scared that it'll hurt me, because if I die, he'll just end up immortal. I doubt he wants that. I could use a break anyway. Why don't we camp here for a bit and then pick up our pace again? Absolutely not. What do you mean? We were only out here this long because of you. Gonna get dark and my legs hurt. Let me sit down for a bit. Not like you can get too far without me anyway. Collapse onto the floor and cross my legs, like a pretzel shape. I lean back lazily onto a tree and stretch my arms over my head. Humans. Rolls his eyes and looks away from me. His hand's tied. Can't do anything unless I choose to go with him. We are at a crossroads yet again. Do you want to rest? I don't need to. I don't get tired. I don't eat. At least not for nourishment. Right, you feed on the blood of humans. Your history books are wholly inaccurate and disgraceful. I don't drink blood, nor would I ever find that enjoyable. What do you enjoy then? Surely you're not this grumpy all the time. Huh. You're such a confusing little thing. Bring me here, insult me with your misgivings about demonkind, argue with me, and then suddenly care about what I do in my free time. I'm not that heartless. Not as heartless as you make me sound. I want to learn more about magic, that's why I brought you here. Not to make some kind of fool out of you. See him opening his mouth to respond, but instead he shakes his head and shuts his eyes. Maybe he doesn't believe me, but it's the truth. Sit like this for a while, join the rest. Asmodeus hangs by, but doesn't even spare me a single glance. Are you ready to go? I'm going to stand up when Asmodeus stops me with a grunt. It's too dark now. You won't be able to see a thing. You slow us down. So I'll journey again in the morning. Huh? Are you serious? Place my hands on my hips once I jump to my feet. Ready to keep going. A little lack of light won't stop me. It'll be even darker by the time we reach our destination. So find a suitable resting place and I'll watch over you. You did this. You sabotaged us. You were the one who couldn't tell I was toying with you. Failed to see how this is my fault. Now please do the one thing, or do the thing when you humans lay down, shut your eyes and stop talking. So use arguing. If he doesn't want to go and won't follow me, I can't go anywhere. I'm stuck, so I may as well try and get some rest. What about you?
As I said.
I'll watch over you. It's in my best interest if you don't die. Try to get some more information out of the Prince of Demons, but he seems to have no interest. Eventually, he stalks off quite a few feet away from me. So much so I can't see him, and I'm sure he can't see me either. Find that I have no choice but to rest up, so that in the morning we can continue our journey anew. Sleeping on the cold, hard ground with no shelter, blanket, or pillow is hard. Toss and turn for what feels like hours. Do not offer a bit, but when I awaken, it's still dark. It's good my to see where Asmodeus is. I don't hear any movement or see his outline. Must be gone, but how far could he really gotten? I know he can't leave my side. That thought should be comforting, and I should try to go back to sleep. Right. Let's look for him. No, I can't go back to sleep. And if I try, I'll just be tossing and turning out here. It's pretty cold and I don't have much as a cloth covering. Cape barely drapes over my arms. Hold myself up on my arms and give one more look around the makeshift campsite. I saw a flame in my hands. This is the kind of stuff that I teach my students. Useful, yes, but very boring. What I'm really helping them do is light a candle or fill their empty glass with water. They could do more with their magic. Imagine the world would be like. It'd change for the better, I bet. Stand up and use the fire to light Stand up and use the fire in my palm as a light. Wobble a bit, catching my footing before walking. A bit of a ways away. I'm gonna pretend that didn't just scare the ever-living shit out of me. Now a crack of lightning stops me in my tracks, near a serene clearing. Jump back slightly, curse under my breath when the fire of my palm goes out, thanks to the slow droplets of rain falling from the sky. Great, not only am I going to be sleeping outside tonight, I'll be sleeping in the rain. Maybe we're not too far from the cathedral and can go back there for shelter. Maybe I can find Asmodeus to tell him. Where could he have gone? Turn to leave when I hear leaves rustling. Dropping from the trees, top of the trees right in front of me is the man in question. You're up. It's hard to sleep in the rain. Yes, I suppose it is. Do you have some fancy spell to keep yourself dry? No. Shake my head at him, squinting to try and make out his facial features. Small droplets of rain beginning to pick up their pace, soaking my clothes. Asmodeus' bare chest and all seems, perturbed. Of course not. Well, sleeping routine will build character. You'll be fine. I'll be fine? Easy for you to say. You apparently have treetops with shelter. What were you doing up there anyway? Keeping watch. Watching you sleep was boring. Boring? Yes. Wow. What do you want me to say? Relishing the idea of watching a mere human girl mumble in her sleep as she turns over too many times to count? I feel my face heating up and listening to Asmodeus' admission. If you even say it like that feels a bit strange. One, to have his full attention on me, and two, because it makes me a bit self-conscious. Was I really mumbling in my sleep?
Hey!
Stop making fun of me and fix this rainy situation. Would you like for me to summon the sun once more? Or how about I pray to my holy ancestors for a miracle? Please stop messing around for like 2 minutes. It's cold out here and I'm getting drenched. Right, yes, my apologies. Here, I do have an actual idea. One moment. Smitty spreads out his wings as if he's going to fly away, but he doesn't. I don't know if he actually can pull himself into the air with a single wing. Still, I watch him curiously as he steps towards me and drapes his black wing over my body. Is he trying to shield me from the storm? Maybe there is a nice bone in his demonic body. Thank you. I move forward as I feel heavy droplets of water fall onto my shoulders, arms, legs, and everywhere else. Marius takes a step back and finishes shaking the water out of the feathers on his wing. Right, now not being weighed down so much, I can tell you my plan. Sleep under a tree. Sleep under a tree? I can contain my anger. Well, I can't contain my anger. It's all funny to him. He speaks about how humans wrongfully portrayed his kind, and yet he does something so cruel. I want to just... as much as I want to hit him with zap him with a thunder spell, hit him with an ice spell, no use pissing off a demon. Just go back to the campsite. Turn back on the demon and begin to walk back in the direction of our makeshift campsite. Wasting my breath on him and his childish games won't solve the problem at hand. I need to find my own shelter from the rain, but since I can't stray too far from Asmodeus, it'll be hard. Curl up into a ball in my previous spot and use my cape to cover my face. Still getting absolutely soaked, but it's better than trying to argue with Asmodeus. I'm not sure how much time passes, but Asmodeus doesn't come back to the camp, and I eventually fall asleep. Oh yay, it stopped raining. Morning time rolls around, the ground around me is damp, and the tree leaves drip with leftover water. Yeah, I'm completely dry. Not a shred of water remains on my body when I wake up. Asmodeus denies having anything to do with it, but I'm not dumb. I know magic when I see it. Unless he maybe said something in his sleep, because Asmodeus did say that she mumbled in her sleep, so maybe she did something subconsciously and casted a spell. Now the two of us walk side by side towards the arcane forest. Can't help but feel a bit more at ease. Big bad demon has a soft side, if it's just for his own benefit. Almost there. Ready for the first trial? Of course I am. I'm Titania of House Corvius. My power is unmatched. Strike a dramatic pose, throwing one fist into the air with the other placed firmly on my hip. Stark black cape I'm wearing flies around in the wind. I'm sure I look cool as hell right now. So you'll have no problem solving the first puzzle all on your own. Yeah? No one can give me the answer this time. Of course, Asmodeus is saying that he only knew the location of the arcane forest, but he never actually needed to be there, so he probably doesn't know the answers to the puzzle. That's okay, because my logic is more sound than my ability to find a mystical location. I'll press Asmodeus so much that he'll be charmed and trust me with his knowledge. maybe. I have little faith in your abilities, if I'm being honest with you, but let us push further nonetheless. Hey, I'll find those dagger pieces.
Ah, yes. You are Titania Corvus, after all.
He mimics my gesture from earlier with much less energy. Cross my arms over my chest.
Asmodeus.
You better stop calling me that. Or what? You'll regret it. I'll take my chances. Turn away from him, but he has no words for me, it seems. Follow after him as he leads me further into the forest, stopping only when we come across a very long flight of stairs. Let's cross these steps. Oh, you think the first puzzle is all the way up there? Or are you trying to waste my time? Rudius only takes a step to the side and bows slightly, as if to say after me.
My liege.
Really one way to find out, my liege. I can see now that I made a very big mistake summoning you. Can't make this even a little bit bearable for me. What's the fun in that? Seems very dull. Imagine simply following you around like a lost puppy. You'll never see the day. Until I banish you, that's what you'll have to do. So come on, let's go. Very well. Charge up the stairs head first. I was completely forgetting the consequences.
Hey!
Hey! Cry out as I stumble backwards. Heard a bit. How you hit a barrier? Didn't run that far ahead, did I? Looking back at Asmodeus, I see him waving at me from the bottom of the stairs, at least 20 steps down. The amount of steps still remain ahead of me. Asmodeus? I shout down to him, scratching the back of my head. I'm not even a little out of breath yet. I have run up so many steps. Really am unmatched. You coming or what? Don't know if I really do hear a chuckle leaving his lips, or we see his lips upturn into a smile. I'm going to pretend it's not all an illusion. Don't wait long as he jogs up the stairs to catch up to me. Well, what are you waiting for? Vanishing won't happen on its own. Right, let's go. Coming out of breath as I think we must be close to the top. Almost. My need for air cuts off my own words. There, right. Double over, my hands on my thighs as I breathe heavily. Okay, remember when I was getting hyped up before? Maybe I overestimated myself. Almost there? Are you truly daft? You're most certainly not almost there. Go on ahead and look up. Follow his gaze to the top of the stairs, which seemed like miles away. Are you serious? Looking behind me, it seems as if those steps look equally as daunting. What, are you tired? Looking at Asmodeus, he seems very much unbothered by the labyrinth of stairs. It's as if he hasn't done any physical activity at all. Prowess of a demon, I suppose. Listen here. I struggled to catch my breath. No way the stairs are this long. Are you screwing around with me again? Making me go up the same stairs over and over again on purpose? Not I, no. Not him? Then something. Well, yes, perhaps you not as dense as I initially thought. Actually, scratch that. It is an elementary observation. Elementary? Hey! I shake my head at his words and focus on what really matters. Confirming that those stairs don't seem to be taking us, well, anywhere. Similar to our journey in the forest just the other day before. But does he really have no part to play in the scheme? I don't know if I trust him. Corvus, use your brain, will you? Get us out of this loop. Loop? Loop. Yes, I know it was a loop. Kinda. I was on the right track. But all I really understand is that... But all I really understand is that it is a loop. What could I possibly do to stop this? Use a spell, perhaps? Though, which one? Do you know a spell that can stop this infinite loop? Do you, O great Titania of House Corvus? I groaned inwardly. This again? I'm never saying anything in front of this man again. Listen, I know fire and ice and thunder like the back of my hand, but stopping time? Oh, a good, simple time-stopping spell that I learned from Ingrid's notes. I shut my eyes tightly and began to whisper a small incantation, though it is very ineffective. Time does not stop, but only for a few seconds, which isn't helpful at all. You can't stop time for long enough for us to make it to the top of the stairs. Even then, not sure it would truly stop the loop. Valiant effort nonetheless.
Oh,
Wait, was that a compliment? I said no such thing. I think that was a compliment. Now take it. Hear what you want. Waves me away and looks down towards the bottom of the steps. There has to be a way to stop this. So stopping time doesn't work? How about reversing it? Do you even know how to do that? Doubt learning that from some notes is even possible. No, I'm just grasping at straws here.
Think, Corvus.
Where he's standing there, arms crossed over his chest, leaning slightly back lazily. Must know something. Hardly believe that he doesn't. You have an idea, don't you? No, of course not. I don't believe that. Tell me. What will you do if I help you? Leans in closer to me, just slightly towering above me. Will you give me Sonic in return? I mean, if you're offering... Why is it that I always try to... Yeah, you know what? Never mind. Koi's bluff, stepping towards him.
What do you want, great demon of lust?
Oh, so we are going that way. Glad I wasn't the only one thinking it. Disgusting. Pulls back from me and shakes his head. Long hair hitting his cheeks. Not even worth getting anything but banished from you. All help, but only with a riddle. A riddle? Yes, if you can't figure this out, you have no business moving forward. Other trials will be much more difficult. Fine, go ahead, I'm listening. Riddle will probably hint at a specific spell that I can say the incantation for. I'm a little suspicious that Asmodeus may already know the spell. Perhaps he was lying earlier about never being here. Not sure that would what that would mean, but it worries me a little. What could a demon want in the arcane forest where dagger banishment is locked away? Thought is unsettling. How many steps does a person need to take in order to reach their destination? That's the riddle? Yes, that is all the help you'll get from me. How many steps does a person need to take in order to reach their destination? What part should I focus on? Okay, what my mind goes to is the destination, because maybe we can use like a teleporting spell or something, maybe? Well, let's see, where's the destination? It can't be a specific number answer, can there? Like, if I say 20 steps, would that be the same for everyone? I don't know, would it? I don't think so. I feel like I'm not looking for numbers, because this relates to a spell somehow, right? Perhaps, yes. Okay, so, a destination spell. What would that even entail? Transporting us to the destination. Yeah, a teleporting spell. At least I'm kind of smart, I guess. In theory, that could work, but you need to know the destination, which it seems you may be remiss of. True, okay, what next? Oh. The person? Who's the person? What do you mean? It's a generalized statement. Well, all the people aren't the same, so that means the destination can't be the same, right? Is that silence a good thing? You baffle me, Corvus. I do not understand how someone like you can be related to Ingrid. Still, not sure if that's a compliment or not. But, back to the task at hand. What next? The number of steps, I guess. How many steps can a person walk up without dying from exhaustion? That seems to be quite literal. Yes, I think I may be onto something. Hold the snark. Every person is different, so there's no way to tell. I have less stamina than you, so you'd be able to make it way more steps than me. Yes, and? So we can't be looking for a specific answer. Confident in that. Are you? Yes, stop making me try to second guess myself. What next? So, what is the answer you come up with? And how you look at it, every person's journey is different. Yours, mine, Ingrid's. Can't measure how long it will take for any of us to complete a journey. And if our destination is the top of these stairs, you and I are not the same. We're not on equal footing. And so I wonder if any spell at all will work. Can't use a spell to determine the length of our journey or where we're going. It can help us, sure, but they can't give us an absolute answer. That's why I think it would take us 0 steps to reach our destination. We're already here in the middle of it. Smithius chuckles, and I wonder if I made a mistake. Have I gone too far off the deep end? Perhaps a simple spell was all we needed. Well done. I solved it? Of course I did. Didn't doubt it for a second. I withdraw my comment. Not well done. Seemed it was like a simple fluke. No, that was well deserved. I solved the riddle. Okay, then how do we proceed? We just, take no more steps. Didn't think that far ahead. Close enough, I suppose. Stand still for a few moments and it will break the loop. How do you know all this? Arcane Forest is demon-made. The never-ending stairs reminds me of a tale my father once told me when I was a young boy. It was about a demon child not much older than me at the time. He'd always been a hasty boy, rushing into just about everything. Of course, it never worked out for him, because he never thought about the consequences of his actions. One day, he had been approached by a human baker who had told the boy that he wanted to get some free sweets. The child could help by using magic to power the ovens. Seems harmless enough. Yes, that's what the boy thought. He would light the fire in the ovens, and when he had completed it, the human would give him sweets. But every day, the human would tell the young demon that there were more ovens to be fired up before he could get his sweets. So the baker lured the demon in and took advantage of him? Precisely, yes. Boy was blinded by how easy the task seemed and how delicious the reward sounded, so he was trapped. Like how I rushed into the stairs without thinking about it. Probably was not rushing into the activity. That would be a common mistake for most. The young child chose to believe that everything was as it seems. He simply kept going and going.
My father warned me never to allow my actions to keep me trapped. By anyone. Human, demon, or spell.
Oh, wow. It's interesting to see that in the fables told to the demon kind to teach them lessons, humans are the villains. It's the opposite in our case. The story might have been told with a demon trapping a human in an unsavory deal. It's no wonder Asmodeus is as distrustful of me as I should be of him. Which side of the coin is the correct one? Yes, so if we start walking up the stairs, we can continue on our journey as you have said. I actually quite like your way of looking at it. Two different perspectives, but the same conclusion. No extra steps needed to get where we need to go. Low glittering sound shakes me out of my thoughts. Asmodeus points up towards the sparkles at the top of the stairs. Just a little more and we should be free to lead this loop. Imagine what we seek is up there. Perhaps not the dagger itself, but the way to another puzzle. And if we solve all the puzzles, we'll get what we need. Asmodeus nods and walks up the stairs at a leisurely pace. I follow closely behind him, and just as he says, when we walk through the sparkles, says we had spent some time on Withered Way. Yeah, this place looks a lot worse for wear. Walking to bright sunlight beating down onto our faces. The urge to twirl around and celebrate our victory is short-lasting. We're standing in the ruins. Whatever building was once here is no longer in one piece. Debris and rubble are scattered across the area. There's something strangely beautiful about it all, as I'm able to look into the bright sky and see the clouds. Look here. I turn to him and see a small treasure chest on the ground a few feet away. Asmodeus crouched down and with a simple spell is able to unlock it. Walk over and peer over his shoulder. Oh, this is exciting. What did we get? A hilt. A hilt? Like for the dagger? He holds it up. We have to assemble it with a spell. It's like a real adventure. Much more exciting than spending time in the Practitioner's Academy, teaching ungrateful and uninspired teenagers elemental spells. Adventure to banish a demon, just like in the tales you humans like to tell. Smirks as he says this, but there's some sadness in his eyes.
Are you sure?
Are you sure it's what you want? You can still change your mind and what? Follow you around for eternity is still like a proper quest, and I won't be your lapdog. Okay, well, any answer connection I felt has sizzled away. Fine, let's just get through the next trial then. Walk a few feet ahead of him in hopes to activate something. Anything. Looks like we're not simply leaving. What do you mean? Another barrier spell, but this one looks strong. Can't do it with any magic that you or I would know. Reaches down and taps on an invisible wall that's barricading us in these ruins. Look for another exit or mechanism that can undo this. Is that another hint?
Titania.
It's common sense, Titania.
Aw,
You call me by my first name instead of my house name. As I begin to gush, he swats me away like a fly to start his own search of his surroundings. Better go and do that myself. Asmodeus seems to be looking around the pile of rubble to the right side of the ruins. Don't know if I should bother him. Let's search the building to the left then. Decide to search the building to the left. We can cover more ground this way. I can only hope that if Asmodeus finds something, he'll tell me. Not quite a team, but we're fighting towards the same objective. Dagger or banishment. Part of me enjoys the challenge. It's quite fulfilling to be able to solve a particularly tough riddle or equation. Even if Asmodeus swears he's not going to teach me anything, it's too bad. He already has, and I'd like to learn some more before he's banished for good. Actually kind of saddened by the thought. He wishes for nothing more than to stay away from this world and humankind. Doesn't seem the least bit interested in a world he hasn't visited in centuries. Yeah, I get the feeling that after his last time on Earth, it didn't end well. That was what we saw at the beginning of the game, and maybe he had his heart broken, maybe betrayed by Ingrid at some point. The more I poke and prod about anything, the more annoyed he gets. So I'm starting to realize that underneath the frightening glare and one wing is a person with feelings, demon or not. Take one glance at him, hunched over the rubble as he searches for a way out. I should work just as hard for this dagger piece. Don't want to keep Asmodeus here against his own will, no matter what I gain from it. So, where to start? Climb onto the platform of the building. Not much here aside from a few crumbling walls. Tied backside the place is exposed. Whatever was once here is no longer recognizable. Just an abandoned building. Going to move things around, but there really isn't anything here but pieces of broken buildings, dust, and a few speckles of green flora. There's a bit around the area as well, but I come up with nothing. Maybe I should regroup with Asmodeus and see if he has any leads. Okay, well let's search through the pile of rubble to the right. Had that bothering Asmodeus is certainly the correct thing to do. Don't really care if he gets annoyed by my presence. I will want to learn everything I can from him before he gets banished, even if it's just a few tales from his childhood. Hey, find anything useful? Asmodeus has a stone in his hand. One he probably just moved from the top of the pile. No, but you don't think it best if you search on the other side? We can cover more ground that way. I think it'd be more effective if we work together. Forgive me for not believing that. I mean, we did get one part of the dagger. I could have acquired it all on my own. Your human mind slowed us down quite a bit. Maybe that's the case, but you chose to not give me the answer. Anyhow, I quite like spending time with you. What? Yeah, it's like an adventure in one of those tales you hear at the tavern. We're on an exciting journey. Yes, walking up some stairs is truly exciting. Beats being a magic teacher. Mean to tell me that you are allowed to teach magic? You hardly seem qualified. I did spells the academy wants me to teach like the back of my hand. Fire, ice, thunder, sometimes wind spells. All basic quality of life things. Nothing ever fun. So you'd rather teach something more dangerous like black magic? I don't mean like teaching at all. Or I don't much like teaching at all, for being honest here. I'd rather learn.
Very much like her.
You mean Ingrid? It'd bring me great joy to be like her. She's a legend in not only my family, but across the land. You realize that I am one of the demons that she fought against, yes? Yes, but would demonkind not forging war against humanity? Had to take some kind of responsibility for what? Snaz, baring his teeth as he snarls at me. Something I certainly didn't do. Haven't learned by now that human history is a compilation of lies. Then tell me the truth of what happened, since you know so much. No, not convinced it would get through your thick skull. Turns his back to me and no amount of prodding gets him to pay me even a little attention. So I decide to check an untouched pile of rubble a few feet away from the man. After a few moments, Asmodeus and I meet back by the treasure chest. The dagger's hilt was found. Well, did you find anything of value? Not exactly, no. Shake my head firmly. Have you? Or have you? Something curious, yes. Rubble is simply that. Pile of stone and rocks. Okay, and? Don't imagine that we need isn't them. We have a piece, something together. Not quite literally, but a spell, perhaps. It's a little vague. You don't have some old family anecdote or story to inspire you? Do you? Glare is intense, so I place my hands up in front of me. Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. We need more information. You don't say. The mind of a Corvius is quite brilliant. Someone who hates my family, you do talk about us a whole lot. Wow. I have the great demon prince speechless. Seeing his growing agitation with my teasing, I stop. So, how did you get that name? Are you like royalty or something? Yes and no. I was born to a very powerful man known as the Demon King. But my kind doesn't view royalty as you humans do. Royalty is earned, not given. I call the Prince of Demons, or the Demon Prince by my peers. That sounds like a high honor. People must have a lot of respect for you. At one point, yes. I was personally looked to for guidance. I Johnson himself with a simple shake of his head. So I suppose I'll get more out of him, but this was a nice glimpse into his life, albeit a small one. Anyhow, let's keep searching. Maybe we'll miss something. Do you think the barrier is stronger on all sides? Maybe we can break through, or there's an opening somewhere. Are you implying we must simply look for an exit? It isn't anything but rubble. You found this yourself. So, how can you piece together a puzzle that isn't there? Interesting. Let's try your way. You've any time to lose. Maze makes his way back to the rubble and begins to move all the big pieces out of the way. I, on the other hand, decide to see if my hunch is correct. Perhaps there's a way to walk out the ruins. There's no way to walk out the ruins. Every time I try to step out of bounds, I'm bumped backwards a few inches. Whatever looking for is in this enclosed space. No luck. Cryo exaggerated me, and plopped myself down onto a pile of rubble. Smitty shakes his head at me. I'll admit I'm a bit stumped too. Why can't we just conjure an exit or something? We need to have an end goal in mind. Yeah, outside the barrier. Doesn't work like that. So what, we just move rubble all day until we find something? What else do you have in mind? Magic, duh. Begin to conjure up a wind tunnel using both my knowledge of elemental magic from my own studies and a little bit of Ingrid's notes. Don't know why you aren't just doing something like this to move the stuff. Magic I conjured up isn't nearly big or strong enough to move all the rubble, but I bet it's easier than moving everything piece by piece. When I unleash it, the wind hits only a few piles of rubble, as I had anticipated, but they don't topple over. Here, let me do it. Medius rolls his eyes and does a spell similar to mine, but it's much bigger, and sends the raining rubble flying against the barrier, where they bounce off and settle a few inches away. All we've done is made a mess. Nah, let's look around now. For the third time, amazing.
Third time's a charm.
Doesn't take more than a few steps forward to see a hole in the middle of the ground where a rather large pile of rubble used to be. You know, there's a human story for this moment. Well around to face him, but Asmodeus has already taken his place by my side. He peers into the hole but doesn't say a word. When I was a young girl in school, my teacher would always tell us not to be like Laura the Foolish. She was an old woman who had never left her home. She was fearful of the world and the demons who inhabited it. Considered leaving that part out, but I didn't think Asmodeus would really expect anything more than a narrative that berates demonkind. One day, her young neighbor came to warn her about an incoming earthquake he had heard about in town. Of course, it was only a rumor, but thought it would be best to let the old woman know just in case. But Lauria simply kept the door locked and went back to what she was doing. Didn't even give the boy a chance to speak. So when the earthquake actually did end up happening, she became trapped inside her home. Seems as if that be her dream. She was content being in her home already. No, it gets worse. People came to rescue the survivors. She was too fearful to leave her home. Didn't even acknowledge that the earthquake happened. She ended up dying in her home a few days later with no food or water. It could have been us, trapped here because you were too pompous to take a few steps forward. Hardly the same scale.
Asmodeus.
Whatever, Asmodeus. Looks like our way out is down that hole, so you should jump down and search for us. You know, make up for that small blunder from before. I found the hole. What do you mean? It's my magic that blew everything away. It was my idea. Move out of my way. Simply say that you were scared. That was the last part under his breath. I'm not scared. it's just smarter to let you go first. Demons with the big wing, yes, very smart. Oh, that's true. Wait. As he says this, Asmodeus jumps down into the hole. Not small by any means, but it's dark. So dark. Use a fire spell, not smell. I mean, we'll definitely be smelling the fire, I guess, or the smoke from it. Anyway, use a fire spell to light up the place. I'm not one of your students. I know what I'm doing. Flames a bit, but it does indeed light a small flame.
Are you coming? You know we can't be apart for long.
Yes, right. Take a deep breath before climbing down the hole next to the grumpy demon prince. Do you mind not being so close to me, human? So using my name was a one-time thing, huh? Disregards my words completely. Move. I can't. We're in this small cave thing and your wing. Wing leaves like a little breathing room between the two of us. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you complaining after you made me go down here first?
Hey!
Hey, listen. That's neither here nor there. Let's just make do with our situation right now. Relying on you to be my eyes. Find ourselves in a tight spot, quite literally. Asmodeus and I are in a small tunnel underground. It's dark save for the glimmer of light I get from the flame that Asmodeus has ignited in his hand. I can't light my own flame back here. Sorry. Let's grunt and inch it forward slightly. Do not touch my wing. And make sure you exit this cavern in one piece. Ah, so that's what he's worried about. His wing. Never really put much thought into it, but it's quite curious that he only has a singular black wing. Cool the stories told to children in order to frighten them into behaving. Demons with skin as red as fire, towering 6 feet tall with long talons, menacing wings that could envelop you, teeth sharper than daggers. Asmodeus doesn't match this description at all. Guess I didn't realize how easy it is to forget that the man is a big spooky demon when he opens his mouth and speaks so candidly to me. His eyes though are vibrant red. Don't read any malice. There's a perpetual look of annoyance on his face, but I don't believe that breeds any ill will. Do you think I'll pluck one of the feathers off and sell it to a witch doctor? Can't help but tease him, especially now that I know you can't turn around and snap at me. How about I pluck your hair from your head and trade it for something more valuable in the underworld? Wouldn't mind if you could get something awesome for it. What could you trade for human hair for? Are you being serious with me right now? Mace doesn't stop inching forward, and I follow close behind him. Though the moment seems excruciatingly slow, I can't complain. This is the only opening we found, and I'm confident the next part of the dagger is somewhere at the end of this tunnel. Yes, why not? Let's look at my hair in the grander scheme of things. What do you think demons would do with a lock of human hair? Use it for a conjuring or cloning spell? I think a demon would use my hair for a conjuring spell, maybe to clone me. Maybe scoffs. For what purpose? I don't know, to use me as a soldier, or maybe just to trap humans in the underworld to get revenge on them? Your human stories are so far-fetched. Were you not the one who used a conjuring spell on me? We don't do that sort of things to humans. It's hard to befalls the two of us, though I hear what Asmodeus is saying. It's hard to believe a demon would want my hair for anything savory. Two of us continue walking, rather inching slowly forward. So, your wing. This again. I only want to ask if all demons have wings, or are you special? We don't all have wings, no. My brothers and I do. Ones you saw in the stained glass windows in the cathedral. We're special, you could say. but not for the reason you humans depict us as. Imagine me, demon of lost. I've heard nothing more humorous in my lifetime than that. For once, I agree with you. Thinking back to the stained glass window in the cathedral, I can't help but laugh at the idea as well. Whoever came up with this stereotype obviously never met Asmodeus. Those depictions have been around for as long as I can remember, even as I walk this very earth. Oh my gosh, really? Do people come up to you looking for a good time or something because of the stories they heard? Yes, it was tiresome. Oh.
No, I don't mean it like that. Please do not tease me, Ingrid.
Oh, look at him, he's blushing. Ingrid. There's some familiarity in his words. It wasn't intimacy. Enough to take my breath away. So he stops walking, causing me to bump slightly into him. Doesn't turn around, probably because he can't in this tiny space. You and my ancestor. You guys knew each other outside of the demon wall, didn't you? That was a slip of the tongue. Drop it.
Asmodeus.
I said drop it. Words are like venom dripping from his lips. I'm sorry. See a light ahead. Let's move forward. What a progress I had thought we were making and suddenly crumbled right in front of me. For once, Asmodeus was speaking openly to me about his culture, and then... well, what happened exactly? Mentioned earlier that I reminded him of Ingrid, but I was under the impression that there were enemies on two sides of the war. Now, not so sure about that. Rest of our journey out of the tunnel is awkward and completely silent. Eventually, we do find a way into a clearing. Asmodeus is the first to leave the tunnel, and I stumble out after him. As I do so, I catch a glimpse of his back in the sunlight. Last scar where his other wing would have been is indented into his skin. Get a closer look at it, I notice the burn marks. Can't help but wonder how violently the thing was ripped from him. But at this point, I know he won't tell me a single thing. Not about his wing, his tattoos, or anything else. Especially nothing about Ingrid. Yeah, I'm hoping Ingrid wasn't the cause of him losing one of his wings. That would be kinda tragic. Might be another, Maleficent situation going on here. It makes me sad because... I was enjoying getting to know him. Shake it off and try to talk to him. Local small talk is a human specialty. I feel like so much time has passed, but it's still bright and early. It's the magic of the forest, I assume. I wouldn't doubt if time runs differently here than it does outside the arcane forest. It works out in our favor. Imagine solving these riddles at night. Shoots a glare in my direction, motion I'm more than used to by now. Weren't you the one who wanted to keep traveling through the night? Did you hear that? I think it's a bird. Rush forward, ignoring the man's words. No, he's right. Next chest is right over here. Cry out when I catch sight of the small brown wooden treasure chest just a few feet away from the entrance of the tunnel. Before I can do anything, Asmodeus is by my side and has used the spell to open it. Ooh, what do we get? A sheath to the blade. Huh? Why would we even need the sheath of the dagger? To cover it. But we're going to use the blade. We don't need to cover it, do we? Imagine that once I'm banished, you'll get to keep the blade. In which case, you'll need the sheath for it. I get to keep the blade? Thought never occurred to me. I was assumed that it would either disappear or go back to the arcane forest after I banished Asmodeus. Oh. Let's keep moving. Doesn't look like our last trial is here. Right. Two of us walk together, stop only when we come face to face with the most harrowing task of our journey yet. No way. Gulp looking at the massive ledge in front of us. There's gotta be another way around. Do you see one? Takes a step backwards and extends his arm, as if beckoning for me to look around the area. But having done it several times now, I've already come up with the same conclusion. There is no other way forward but across this chasm. No, but the ledge is so small. And
What about you?
your wing. Will it be possible for you to squeeze up against the wall as we walk across? It will be a bit uncomfortable, but I shall manage.
Thank you.
Don't say anything, because I don't want to ruin the moment. So I simply nod at him and offer the best smile I can muster. Wasting time by just standing here. Shall we go? Yes, Are you friend of heights? Great titanium of House Corvus herself? Yes, don't tease me. Isn't that what he wanted when he said to me in the tunnel? Emilius takes a step back and places his arm over his chest. He waves my words away and points to the ledge. You go first. Why can't you go first? I could, but if you stumble or fall, I can't turn around quick enough to grab you. The wing. Twist slightly to aim his shoulder at me. Might even knock you off by accident. Right, because if I die, our bond is broken and you remain here. Right. Nods his head. So please, after you. Doesn't bow down or call me his liege like he usually does. Try to shake that off, though, and anxiously take a step onto the ledge. I trust him. Because why not? If he wanted to kill us, he would have done so already. I trust Asmodeus. He won't let me fall. Confident in that. Close my eyes tightly and take in a deep breath. Back is pressed against the side of the mountain, the tips of my feet hanging off the ledge slightly. I can do this. Yes, you certainly can. What? Here's shelving. Safe to assume that Asmodeus has joined me up on the ledge of doom. Less out a grunt, and then I feel Asmodeus graze my arm with his. Eyes follow open to see a blush on the man's cheeks as he tries to position himself in a way that he's not so close to me. My wing. Is everything okay? Yes, let's hurry this up. Words are direct, but his voice is strangled, as if Asmodeus had two wings. Be able to fly without any extra precautions. Don't mention that to him. Sure, he already knows. Instead, I turn my attention back to the ledge, taking a deep breath. How to do this for Asmodeus, if anything. Must be very uncomfortable up here. Yes, that thought alone keeps me pushing forward. Inch by inch, I slide my feet across the rocky ledge. My arms never leave the wall that I'm pressed against. Don't look back or check on Asmodeus. Hear him breathing, and that indicates enough that he's doing alright. 1 step. 2 steps. 3 steps. Lose count after that. I'm sure I'm almost there. I have to be. Unless we got another looping situation on our hands. That's pretty much just what I said. Isn't one of those loops again, is it? Far as I can tell, it's just a normal ledge. I can't see over you though, so I haven't a clue if we're close or not. I think so. Lean forward slightly to peek over this edge and see a piece of land. Yes, we're almost there. I say ourselves, turn to Asmodeus excitedly without realizing it and lose my footing. On foot hanging off the ledge, I try to catch for something, anything to grab onto. But it's no use. There's not even a single rock poking that I can latch onto.
Foolish girl!
Asmodeus grabs hold of my arm as I fumble to regain my balance. Grateful for his quick reaction time. That was a close one. So reckless.
Nothing like Ingrid, right?
Bet she'd be able to cross this ledge without even a second thought. Turned my head to finish the line, both to focus on not making another mistake, but to avoid a demon's possible rage, as I mentioned the woman from his past. Exactly like Ingrid, in that sense at least. Huh? She was feral of the unknown, just as you are. Ingrid was very good at hiding it. That's the difference between you two. Ingrid could be feeling scared, but tell her comrades she was fine. They'd believe her. I somehow doubt you'd be able to pull that off. When you're angry, it's written plainly on your face. When you're sad, I can see the frown quite clearly. I'm scared? Huh. You announce it yourself. Almost as if you're an open book. But an unread book can still have a bad ending. Well, that's the last part of his breath, but we're close enough that I can make it out. Don't know what to make of the admission. Is he frightened by not knowing what's to come? In that sense, we're similar. Except he seems to keep that fear close to him. Too close. Wonder if he's ever let anyone in before. With an icy attitude like this, well, like his, I doubt it. Leave his words hanging in the air for the wind to carry away. Not my place to call him out on something he doesn't wish to speak about. Though knowing more about Ingrid brings me comfort. Strange wanting to have a connection with someone I've not met. Reading her notes, I feel as if we're kindred spirits. Both wanting to learn much more than what we are allowed to. Both of us wanting to reach a bigger heights than we were supposed to. Both of us wanting to shatter the expectations placed onto us by others. Often wander around hopelessly, seeing the majors in my hometown and even in my own house. Perfectly content staying within the confines and placed upon them by older traditions. Do not wish to be caged any longer. I want to be set free. I believe Ingrid did as well. I wonder if Asmodeus will ever trust me enough to believe that. He thinks I'm some human girl hungry for power. It's bitter thought that stings the more I let it ruminate in my mind. Now that we're almost at the end of our journey, I feel an overwhelming sadness wash over me. Asmodeus and I, though so clearly to each other on this ledge, will not likely never see eye to eye and understand each other. Lords of humans and demons must not be meant to meet ever again. Asmodeus seems content with that, but I'm not so sure I am. We're so close. Pushing my thoughts away and try to pick up my pace slightly. So close to the solid land that I can almost taste it.
Oh.
Yes, safety. Cry once both feet touch the ground or solid ground again. Do a little spin, tossing my arms into the air. Here's Asmodeus chuckling, and when I look at him, he's actually smiling. Must be happy that we're so close to the end. The last piece. It's still a ways away, I'm sure. Do you see a chest anywhere? I haven't seen even taken a look at my surroundings. Just so happy to survive. Or to have survived. I haven't even taken a look at my surroundings. Take a quick look around. My eyes only catch onto one thing. A large podium sitting in the middle of the forest, but no treasure chest. There seems to be something inscribed into the podium. Let me see that. Asmodeus walks up to the stone podium and traces the words with his fingertips. Once he's satisfied with what he's read, he turns to me. It's a summoning spell. Imagine whatever we summon will lead us to the blade of our dagger. Can I try? I walk by his side and read the spell under my breath. By all means, go ahead. I'm not going to try to pronounce any of that. Nothing. Not so much as a flicker of light. Maybe I need to focus on trying to imbue more energy into the spell. Try again. This time shutting my eyes tightly and focusing on the words I'm speaking. Still nothing. Then a frustrated sigh. Black magic is so tough. Incredibly so. What does the incantation mean anyway? I call the Black Castle. Something an entrance to an actual castle. Magical castle. Someone with your skill and power level won't be able to do it. So then, squeeze the bridge of my nose. Why not tell me from the beginning? Getting tired of the whole mocking thing. I get it. House chorus, yada yada yada. I haven't said that in a while, have I? Smerdius hangs back by a nearby tree, lazily leaning into it. Now that I think about it, Smerdius hasn't taunted me in some time. Huh. It's more fruitful if you learn for yourself what you can and can't do. I give you all the answers all the time, how will you learn? Shakes his head. Long black rocks of his slapping into the sides of his cheeks. Well, I'm sure we'll be slapping something, leader. Just pretend I didn't say that. Telling Ingrid all she needs to know about didn't get me very far. If you want to learn from me, show some effort. More effort than her, at least. What? Ingrid wanted all the answers, and I gave them to her. Look what that did for her in the end. Jennifer noticed that I haven't been able to help you do anything but summon me. A spell won't work on another demon. Why not? I wrote that spell for her. It's elementary enough that she'd be able to actually summon me. If she had to do it with her own power, she wouldn't have been able to do it. All Ingrid could do were the spells she memorized. It doesn't surprise me that after a crusade, she couldn't spread her knowledge around to others, humans, in order to teach them. Black magic can't be grasped by just anyone. You need a good teacher. As Asmodeus finishes his speech, I'm dumbfounded. Don't know what to do or say. Speechless, aren't you? Of course you are.
You have done nothing but make assumptions this entire journey. Ingrid, your paragon, was nothing more than a human reciting some memorized lines. Her power certainly wasn't unmatched. She was a fool.
I mean, she had not lost a minute in this forest. There's disgust written plainly across his face. Talking about Ingrid and her abilities seemed to be the worst taste of all to Asmodeus. Pat yourself on the back, for at least you made it farther than she would have. Therefore, that makes you superior only by a slight margin. So no more speaking to me about her amazing powers or pursuits of knowledge. Everything you know to be true is a lie. Hearing Asmodeus' words, I'm torn. Part of me feels honoured that he put me above Ingrid, though not exceedingly so. Does seem a bit impressed by my magical abilities, though the other part of me is full of sorrow. I'm starting to believe Asmodeus when he tells me that Ingrid was a fraud. What other lies have been told? I have too many questions that my partner doesn't seem to want to answer. Asmodeus kicks off the tree with enough force that rattles and stray leaves fall from it. Shouts a spell into the air. It's loud enough that I need to cover my ears. No special element spells, tomes, or even blood that has to be drawn. Asmodeus is able to conjure a door with just his words. Door, now standing upright directly in front of Asmodeus, is a ritual red. It has a marking I can't understand scrawled across the front in sloppy gold paint. That was incredible. Hurry along, mission to get this over with. I have no desire to be here any longer. Just like that, the Asmodeus I've come to know on this journey is back. Leaves no more room for argument and opens the door. When he steps inside, I have no choice but to follow in after. Dark room that we enter is cold. That's the thing I notice first. The air is stale, almost bitter. I scrunch up my nose. The smell reminds me of the family vault, musty and damp. Shivering. Am I? I have my arms around my body, making sure to pull my cape tightly around myself. Asmodeus snaps his fingers and the room illuminates. Wow, fancy fire spell. Though I'm teasing him, I am impressed. To light up all the candelabras in here, I had to light fireballs in my hand and launch them in the direction of each candle. All Asmodeus had to do was snap. You saw me summon a door to this place. That's what you say? Corners of his lips twitch into a smile. The light of the flames behind Asmodeus, I noticed how truly handsome he is. Well, I thought he was good looking in comparison to the depictions of himself that I've seen, but I think he's just easy on the eyes, especially when he's smiling. I think my favorite look for him is with his eyes closed. Easily leaned against something with a look of peaceful calm on his face. It's the exact opposite of what I always thought he would be. Demon of Lust. Never get over that. Asmodeus seems to want nothing to do with pleasure. It's all business all the time. Why do you look at me like that? Oh. I turn away from him, hoping he doesn't notice that the heat I feel rising to my cheeks. Caught me staring. How embarrassing. This is where we find the blade, right? Or is it another trial? The blade is here. How do you know? Asmodeus doesn't answer my question. Instead, he walks forward towards the throne, that's at the front of the room. Take the opportunity to scan my surroundings. This is the place called the Black Castle. Well, it's certainly a throne room where we're standing in. The throne itself looks ornate, though a bit subdued in colour, either from old age or poor lighting. There are statues on both sides of the throne, looking like the depictions of demons that I've seen in my history books. I wonder if that's what they really are, or something else entirely. There's a red carpet in the centre of the room that Asmodeus treads down, each footstep louder than the next. The clacking of his shoes against the marble floors, the only sound in the room. Finally, Asmodeus takes a seat to the throne. His eyes are shut, back pressed against the chair. I'm sitting atop the rest. The image of him is picturesque. Certainly something I think is worthy of a stained glass window. Perfect representation of the Demon Prince. Afraid to even move, lest I disturb him.
This feels good. I'm finally back where I belong.
Uh-oh. Back where he belongs? Huh? You really do no research on me before you woke me up from my slumber. Your human stories speak of the Black Castle. Looks up with me with a bitter smile and beckons for me to step forward. Though something doesn't seem right about all of this. Yeah, damn it, we should have trusted him. Demon after all. Man sitting in the throne. Can't be the Asmodeus that I came to know, can he? The smile on his face is sinister enough to make me question it.
Come to me.
So I just take a step closer to this man. No, the demon. Seeing his teeth bared like this, the difference between the two of us are quite obvious. The air around us is thicker. The room feels like it will collapse onto us. Yet I can't stop my feet from pulling myself towards the man as he has ordered. Don't stop until we're face to face. Me doing the towering this time as I stand in front of him. In front of his throne. What do you mean by when you said that this is where you belonged? I heard you right, didn't I? Yes, you did. This is my kingdom. I am the Prince of the Black Castle. Welcome, human. This is where you lived when you were in this world, all those years ago? Explain why it looks abandoned. There was no one here to take care of it for centuries. For a part of my time, yes, but I left to find companionship amongst the humans. I liked them. I thought they were precious little things, full of awe and wonder. Looked at everything as if they were seeing it for the first time. Smile, though still there, has morphed into something more melancholic. Opinion on humans has long since changed. Asmodeus doesn't look at me with such fondness. But humans are like ale. You spend all your time cultivating the flavors to make it perfect, and in the end, it just goes bad anyway. But I had just enjoyed the ale while it was fresh. Places his hands under his chin. Perhaps it wouldn't have ruined the taste of all ale for me. Thought of trying it again is revolting. Even so, ale is good for one thing and one thing only. Distorting your senses, making you feel as if everything is okay, making you forget your inhibitions. Disgusting and vile. Asmodeus is clutching the armrest of his throne. So tightly his knuckles are turning white. Words cause my stomach to twist into knots. Disgusting and vile. That's what I am to him? I knew he had no affinity for humans. He told me this from the very beginning, and yet I had held on to hope for something more. A little flicker of light in his eyes when he saw me solve something on my own. A bit of hesitation when he was saying his hateful comments about all humans. A sliver of doubt as he considered me. I'm offered no such formality, no different to Ingrid in his eyes, even as his proclamation of it being so moments before we entered his castle. I, Titania of House Corvus, am another human. I was forced to think of Asmodeus as anything different than what he is. A demon. You cry when you hear the truth. How funny. Leans forward, taking my face into his palm. His words have made me aware of the dampness on my cheeks. Yes, I am indeed crying. Showing my human emotions, not a mistake.
What? No words now? Oh, great Titania of House Corvus. What a joke.
You showed me the same thing Ingrid and all the other humans did. I am the big, bad, powerful demon. You'll do exactly as I say. You don't see me as an equal, but rather as someone intimidating. It's true, isn't it? Do what I tell you because I'm supposed to be the all-powerful and all-knowing ethereal creature. You don't have to see it in your eyes. So very, very obedient. I suppose I should thank you for that. Because of your something original, I'm here in my rightful place once again. You knew this from the final destination? Or you knew this was the final destination all along? Also mean now that I was played for a fool. Gave Asmodeus exactly what he wanted. Not so sure what being back here means, but I hadn't delivered it to him on a platter. What misfortune that entails for me and the other humans is unknown. Did you want to be summoned from the beginning? Dago banishment was all ploy? No. I mean, everything I said up until this point. Did not want to come back up to here to a world that has treated my people so poorly. There's a sadness in his dark eyes, but also unmistakable anger. My disciples and I taught you humans magic. It's because of me that you can use the elemental spells at all. But Ingrid wanted more, and more, and more from me. The wonder and awe never left her eyes. So long as I kept giving her the knowledge she seeked. I was okay with that because Ingrid made me feel something demons are not supposed to feel. Compassion, love, despair. Foolish human emotions that simply get in the way of things. Ingrid took everything I had until there was no more to give, and then she had enough of me and my disciples. She waged war on demonkind with the power we gave her. How does the legend end? What did Ingrid the Great do? It takes a moment for me to gather my voice, but tell him openly and honestly what I know. Ingrid fought the Demon King and won. So as such, you were all banished to the underworld. We were not banished. She would have no power to do that to one of us, let alone an army. Demons left your world because we couldn't stand to inhabit the same place as someone who would do something so vile with one's kindness. But even as Ingrid raised her blade to me, tried to convince her what she was doing was wrong, I had loved her. I told her I wouldn't fight her. With that vulnerability, she took the opening and slashed my wing right off. Great House Corvus cheering her on, even as I fought to remain peaceful, until I could no longer stand back and let my people die by the hands of a human. You killed her, didn't you? Is there any truth that would make sense? No, I couldn't do it. I fled. Before I made my descent to the underworld, with the rest of my people, I left a note to Ingrid, a summoning spell, in case she changed her mind. But with centuries passing by, I realized that Ingrid could no longer be alive. I was content to never seeing her again. Saw the damages she had caused and knew it was be my fault. Wish to never be put in that predicament again.
And I won't. I'm sorry, Titania.
Lee kisses my face, his hand falling limply to his side. Neither of us making any movements. Don't know what rests in his heart, even after his speech, but mine is torment and regret. He has suffered an immense injustice by my ancestor, Ingrid Corvus, but he's let that manifest into a hatred of all humans, hatred that I don't know he can return from. For a few moments I saw something in you. Same sparkle I had come to love in Ingrid's eyes. Excitement when you had learned something new. You knew the defeat when you couldn't grasp something. You saw some new things. Fiery personality that had fought back when I argued with you. But that's where it stops. Your words. Saw through them, standing in my castle. I am reminded of all that I lost because I had given in to my compassion for Ingrid. I will not do the same for you. Last piece of the dagger of banishment is here, my throne. He reaches down to pull a compartment out of the bottom of his seat. From it, takes out the last part of the dagger. With these 3 pieces of the blade, you'll be able to construct a dagger of banishment. And now I'm confused. Push my feelings of pain down and push forward with my words. You said that you weren't banished during the Demon War. People fled, so why do you want to be banished now? That means a point of no return. It became very clear as centuries went on that Ingrid's honeyed apology was never coming, and as such I had given up any reason to return to this forsaken place. There's nothing here for me any longer. Don't you want your kingdom back? You must want the humans to pay. No, I never wanted revenge. I was simply reminiscing on this place I had been at my most powerful. Had I not stepped out of my fortress and into human territory, I would never have lost my home, my power, my dignity, and my wing. And I wouldn't have gained these wretched tattoos. I guess trace the design on his face. Disgraced, that's what my brand says. I'm known forever as the one who took away our green utopia. Now demonkind dwells under the surface with nothing more than rocks and flames. I do want to be banished. Is there any way to sever the bond I have to you? I do not wish to be joined to any human, especially not one who reminds me of so much of my failings. Hesitance in his demur is no longer there. Asmodeus has made up his mind. His hatred for humanity tempts all. Asmodeus lays all 3 dagger pieces across his lap, waves his hand over them. Watches the pieces click into place to form the artifact we had been looking for. After you banish me, the dagger will remain yours to do as you please. I no worries as you or any other human would be powerful enough to summon any more demons. Placed the dagger in his hand before sliding his finger down the edges of the blade, drawing blood. I cannot sever the bond because I didn't create it. You're the one who needs to stab me directly in the heart. Finally, he stands up and the two of us facing each other, only inches apart. Reaches his arm out, handing me the dagger. That's it? Yes, end my misery. It's the least you can do to make up for the emotional pain that Ingrid has caused.
I'm nothing like Ingrid. I wanted to learn from you to become a better mage. I didn't want to take advantage of you.
Tears are now like waterfalls as I process everything I've heard. The woman I looked out for so long has been a wretched, toxic woman. The man she had hurt is standing in front of me, and there's nothing I can do to take its pain away. He is a demon, and I am a human. How it will always be. Two will never be able to be together. I don't have the willpower to fight for a future togetherness that Asmodeus doesn't want. So even if I oppose, I can't stop it. Take the dagger from Asmodeus' hand.
I'm sorry that you thought there was no other way.
Funny. I said the same thing to Ingrid before she maimed me. Plunge the sword into Asmodeus' heart. Handshake as I hold the blade in his chest. Can't bring myself to push it any deeper. Perhaps I am the weak human that he thinks I am. Asmodeus wraps his hand around mine. Nothing warm about his touch. Painful reminder that our relationship was not what I had thought it could have been. Asmodeus pushes down onto my hands, finishing the job. Neither of us say any words to each other, but there isn't much time to. Asmodeus begins to fade away in front of my very eyes, a small smile on his lips. He was happy to be rid of me. Though this was our plan from the beginning, I can't help but feel empty inside. It's as if I failed him. Didn't show him that humans aren't all bad. I didn't prove to him that his ordeal with Ingrid wouldn't be the same interaction he'd have with everyone. Don't blame him for the words he said. I think deep down, I know them to be true. Humans will never accept demonkind. Demonkind will never accept humans. I dropped to my knees and shut my eyes. The darkness that overtakes me. When I finally had the courage to open my eyes, back in the cathedral that I started in. Alone. Banished end unlocked. Oh, and that's the end. Man, what a depressing ending. But yeah, I know there are apparently a couple more endings, but I'll leave that up to you guys to find. Because I'm going to be ending it here. Man, this was an interesting little visual novel. Interesting seeing what happened to Ingrid, and yeah, I had a feeling that she wasn't the greatest woman of all time. And yeah, seeing a world where magic and demons exist and whatnot. Very interesting story. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and yeah, with that, I'll be moving on to the next game.